Dodgy texts have fast become the scam of choice, prompting a super spam crackdown forcing service providers to identify, trace and block SMS scams. And since July last year, more than 90 million scam text messages have been picked up.
What's important though is that industry works collaboratively and applies new opportunities through technology to reduce the number of scams that people receive in the first instance.
But not everyone has been pulling their weight. Modica becoming the first telco to breach the scam reduction rules, as the Australian Communications and Media Authority found they allowed their customers to use sender IDs without sufficient checks. So scammers could impersonate real brands and their messages could slip undetected into legitimate message threads.
It's unlikely that we'll ever see a day where there aren't any scams, but what's really important, is that we make it as difficult as possible for scammers to target Australians.
Meanwhile, everyone and their mum has been subject to an attempted scam.
This is a text message scam that came up on my phone as Dad. I don't have anyone in my phone as Dad.
Okay, so the latest scam text is definitely an improvement. Well done, guys. You managed to change the unknown number to Mum, so points for that. I don't talk to my mum, so unfortunately I'm gonna have to give you a 1 star.
The important thing for consumers is to remain vigilant, and if they see something that looks dodgy, it probably is. Make sure you don't click on any links and report any scams that you observe to ScamWatch or to your provider.
But can we ever expect our service providers to completely shield us from scam texts, or is some of the responsibility on us?
The sophistication of these scams now, though, just the sheer volume at which we are assaulted with them too, but then just figuring out what is real and what isn't real, and of course people are going to fall for it.
Oh, they're getting smarter and smarter. It's an evolving beast. I have to take a screenshot of all of my scam text messages and send them on the family WhatsApp to make sure that my mother doesn't fall for them, which is silly because all she does is play Tetris, so she probably wouldn't even respond to a message like that.
But I think it's interesting that we're putting the onus on, individuals to take responsibility for this, because I thought I was doing that, but I messed up in a different way, which is, that ATO scam that's been going around, that everyone's got that text being like, you owe the government money. I received that text and was like, I've seen this scam on television, I will not be falling for this. And then they got more sophisticated. They started calling me about it. And I was like, I'm not going to answer these calls. This is ridiculous.
Oh, no.
And then after a couple of months, it turned out that I actually did owe the tax office quite a bit of money. I had some very angry phone calls and I had to call them back. And I was like, you guys are trying to scam me. And they're like, no, we're real. We're actually the tax office.
When was the point that you knew?
Is it right now? Is the ATO finding out right now?
I think they ended up sending some messages to the MyGov or whatever.
Oh, God.
Which is their internal messaging service. And I was like, OK, this is probably real.
This seems authentic.
Yeah. But then I called them about it and they were like, this is a problem we're having now, that people are thinking we're scammers, but we're actually the tax office.
Next time I text you when I'm at Woolworths saying, these are my bank details and I forgot my wallet, would you please deposit some money?
I will not, Hamish, I will not.